feel like this fits the depressing vibe that our fan base is dealing with. So,
no question. Speaking of fan base, well, actually, more angled towards media, and this was Brian Kelly and his interaction with a former of the Baton Rouge media.
Brian in the back, I know you love these immediate post-game sessions, but what are you seeing with your offense?
Stop. Really? Is that the first question? We won the game 20-10. Try another question. What do you want me to tell you? I just laid it out for you. We played the game to win the game. We played the game to win the game.
All right. How about third down then? What is going on with third down?
It's one game. Last game, we were great on third down. You're looking at this from
the wrong John Adams. Feel like
LSU.
Coach, I mean, all due respect,
won the game.
I thought third down was a little lethargic tonight.
You want us to win 70-0 against Florida to keep you happy?
No, I think people want to know why you can't run the ball, quite honestly.
We can run the ball. Did you see the last play of the game? That's all you need. You just need one. There's ridiculous questions. And I'm getting tired of it. That football team just worked their tail off to get an SEC win, and you want to know what's wrong. You know what? You're spoiled. You're spoiled.
Well, wait a minute. I thought quarterback Nussmeier, I didn't think he had a very good game.
How about that? Give him some respect instead of micro-analyzing every little thing. This is ridiculous. For a group of seasoned reporters, that kind of question is so out of line.
I mean, saying that's out of line when they only rushed 102 yards. It's just like...
Yeah, I don't think it was out of line.
I think it was a very fair question.
I felt like, and I'm not a member of like the media and asking the coaches questions, but how you present the question maybe and drop that in there, kind of slide that in there. Like, is it a concern? Coach, again, hard fought win. Your defense stepped up. There are obviously things that maybe you come away from this that you like, some things you don't like. Maybe what are some things that you're, hoping to do to maybe give this your running game a little bit of a boost rather than that just being right out of your mouth. I mean, now you could say he's maybe a little soft, a little sensitive, but maybe you phrase it a little differently if you're a member of the media. But who knows? Maybe those two have some heat. I don't know.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
it absolutely sounds like it.
Anyways, I do agree with you. I think the verdict's still out on LSU. I think. Listen, I felt like that was a pride game for Florida. There was a lot of sharp money that came in yesterday on Florida, getting the 8.5 or whatever. Brought the line down. I kind of had a hunch they were going to play them tough, but I mean, for them to still be in it by 10 points in the fourth quarter, and your quarterback's thrown 4 and then wounds up throwing a 5th. I mean, that speaks volumes, and maybe adds more to the belief that you're saying is, maybe we need to pump the brakes here a little bit on LSU, because Clemson does not look very good. And we came away from that going, but they beat Clemson. And Klubnik was, a potential Heisman candidate. And Clemson has 2 NFL wide receivers, bona fide wide receivers. And LSU came away with that win. Again, a win is a win. I don't want to sound like coach, but we'll know a little more here in the coming weeks. I have not looked at LSU's schedule. We can break that down, but overall, I will say this about Georgia, and this isn't just sour grapes coming from a disgruntled Vol fan. I don't feel like this Georgia team, that defense is going to cost them. It's going to cost them some games, a game or two. Now, I don't know. I haven't looked at their schedule totally, but you're telling me right now they play an Ohio State, they play an Oregon right now. I don't see them beating them right now.
Yeah, I mean, their 3 biggest games, I believe, after this is Ole Miss, Alabama, and Texas, and all three are at home. So they got the luck of the draw in that regard. But, I mean, that's what makes yesterday even more frustrating, is that this wasn't like, the 2022 or 2023 or even 2021 Georgia teams where it's just like they're just completely riddled with like first round, talent all across the board on defense. Like this was the best chance that Tennessee had, that Josh Heupel had for a long time now.
Yeah, because we're not playing them
we're not going to play them for several years, most likely. And this was a Georgia team that had and more power to him. Gunnar Stockton, I think, is an okay quarterback. He played fantastic yesterday. He was clutch when it mattered, but they weren't playing a veteran guy like Carson Beck or Jake Fromm or
totally winnable game.
Stetson
Bennett.
Right. But like, it's just, we had it.
We did, and I look at it from a standpoint, and I just got to say this, okay, the momentum around this program is starting to come back. That last night, I'm not going to say it just all the air came out of it, but you're not going to forget that one for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. You win that game last night, and in some recruiting battles and NIL battles with some players, maybe from Georgia, Valdosta is a hotbed of talent. Macon, Alpharetta, there's tons of, aside from the state of Florida and Texas and like California, Georgia's right there with just an immense amount of talent. That would have been huge. Let me speak of something though. When I say there is like an orange tidal wave, what do we have? I'm trying to remain, optimistic. That game hurt.
There is like positives take though. And
yes.
Like this is we've realized that like we got a hell of a quarterback.
We do.
Like Joey Aguilar is the best quarterback we've had since Hendon Hooker. It's not even up for debate.
It's not.
This is a guy that is able to allow the offense to reach its potential, which is something that we have not seen the last 2 years because of the lack of ability from both of those QBs with Joe Milton and Nico. We've noticed too that there was a lot of heat from Heupel, and including myself. I was like a critic at why we weren't getting more wide receivers in the portal. Mm-hmm. We absolutely see why now. Like, our guys are good. I mean, obviously, I would like for us to have at least one more wide receiver just for depth purposes. But like Brazel, the Heupel's system, and I think a lot of people have to understand this too. Heupel's system takes a wide receiver at least 2 years to be able to fully get comfortable in it. It took Jalen Hyatt a growing pain in 21 to be able to flourish in 22. All right. It took Dante really big growing pains from 23 and made that next step where he played well enough to now be an NFL starter.
Yep.
So, and you're seeing that with Mike Matthews. You're seeing that with Brazel. And it's really just being able to have that chemistry with the QB, having that relationship, and being able to have that trust on like what routes you're going to run on certain plays, and because it's a lot of just hot routes that these kinds of guys decide based on the coverage. It's not exact routes altogether. So I don't, there's positives that this team feels like 2022 all over again in the sense of like we'll be able to score 40 points a game. There's not an issue there. The only thing that concerns me is maybe with Jermod McCoy and Davian Hobbs and Jackson Moy yesterday, we probably win that game. But the fact that like we weren't able to get off the field on third down, and I said it all week, I said this was the one thing that Tennessee had to avoid, which is allow Georgia to go on these 5 or 6 minute drives, which is what they do, suck the life out of the air, take away all the high momentum that you have starting red hot, and being able to get the defense off the field. And they weren't able to do that. And this just feels like the similar defense that we had in 22, where it's like you don't have enough pass rushers or like guys that could be able to get pressure on the quarterback. And they did okay yesterday. Yeah. But this is going to be a concern. And, they might be the toughest team that we play all season. I think Georgia is, based on what I've seen.
Physically and coach, I don't think there's a better coach than him now. I
don't think so either. But my thing is that you can still go 10-2, right? Mm-hmm. Like they should. No excuses. They should absolutely beat Florida this year. I mean, inexcusable if they lose to Florida. You should beat Oklahoma at home. That's a home game. But it's like you have to split between Alabama.
Man, they're looking like a wagon.
That's the thing. That's
going to be tough.
It's going to be tough, but you have to find a way to be able to split between Bama and Oklahoma to be able to make that play.
Oh, I agree. I agree with you 100%. And one thing when you were mentioning about, we have our quarterback, we're moving through next year's recruiting class too. Look, we got a lot of football left, so I'm not fast forwarding to next year. I do want to drop this. I'm just going to tell you guys, we're sitting in a really nice dinner restaurant establishment here in West Knoxville, and so one of the managers, comes up and says, "Oh, hey, you gonna believe who's over here?" And I'm like, I wasn't gonna tweet it at the time out of respect. I'm not gonna, say, "Oh yeah, guess who's So, but Faison and his family, Brandon Faison, his family are having a nice dinner. When they left and came by the bar area where I was sitting watching, there was games on and everything, and this manager's like, "Oh my God, like." Great family, really nice guy, very confident. I'm going to share this. I'm going to kind of get your juices flowing a little bit. First thing I noticed, and I'm not one that just sits and follows like a recruitnik and goes, "Oh my God, look at this guy," on film. And but I'm going to tell you right now, like I immediately went to, because I other friends that were sitting there were like, "Wait, he's a high school quarterback, dude. He's ripped. Yeah. He is that dude. I didn't realize he was that big. Now, the 225 weight that they're listing him at, that may be a little generous. And maybe it's just because he's so lean. But I'm telling you right now, if you would have told me he was a safety or maybe an outside linebacker prospect, I would have believed you. He looks like a freak. So people immediately start pulling up his highlights and everything. I said, "Oh, I've already seen his highlights. I've seen it. I mean, the guy is legit." And unlike Nico, when he arrived, this guy has not only a college quarterback frame, he looks like an NFL frame. He looks the part. Now, and he dropped this. One of the managers who I speak to regularly says, "Yeah, because they were like, yeah, you're here next year, right? Yeah, I've heard our class is really good." And he says, "Yeah, we're not done yet either. So I'm going to recruit more. We're building something here." I mean, there is a freaking orange tidal wave that is forming and bringing it here.
You got to be able to
with this class. You got to get the Jimmies and the Joes, and they're starting to get some defensive and some big offensive linemen and linebackers. I'm excited for the future, man. But we got to finish games like that last night. We've got to finish it. If we win and we take care of Alabama, somehow beat like you said, if we go 10-2, maybe it's still going to sting a little bit, the Georgia, but I think we'll forget about it a little more. It won't be like we're sitting in here today on, you're sitting in here in our living room, come in, and this is like therapy for everyone. Come on in. We'd love for you to call, by the way, 865-966-3435 if you want. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you have a different perspective, different take. We'd love to hear from you. This is Neutral Zone with Fan Run Drew and the clone right here. We're presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. I know we got about 10, 12 minutes before we go to the top of the hour, Drew. Anything you mentioned the Oklahoma game, and I feel like when I'm looking at numbers and I'm looking at the ability of their quarterback to take a ball 51 yards to the house, man, he brings a different element. That's a dual threat guy. They look, I understand yesterday that was Temple. Okay, Temple is really bad. But I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I think Oklahoma's beaten Texas this year.
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly see that. I think Arch Manning has the unfortunate thing of Manning literally being his last name, but like also just the unnecessary amount of hype that he had to, deal with all offseason about how he's going to be the next elite quarterback. He's going to be better than, Quinn Ewers. And like Quinn Ewers had his faults, but man, like Quinn Ewers in all grand scheme of things was a solid college quarterback,
Yep.
And it's not easy being able to replace a guy like that who's been a starter for multiple years and being able to get in that role. And I mean, Arch might wind up being an okay quarterback at the very end, but like he is so inexperienced and still so young. And when I look at him, like he doesn't look big. He doesn't look like a college quarterback in the sense as the frame built and things like that.
Right.
And like how is he going to be able to handle against Oklahoma's defense, who are filthy? And
Yep.
they can finally protect their quarterback, which is something they weren't able to do at all last year. Jackson Arnold under center, and so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest seeing Oklahoma beat Texas this year. It could probably still go either way because the Red River Shootout is like one of the most unpredictable games, every single year.
Absolutely.
But
one team can be number one in the country ranked and a 17.5-point favorite, and it's right down. It takes a last second, score by the favorite to win. I mean, you're right.
But the thing is, from what I've seen, with Oklahoma, and maybe I'm just a little too confident of Tennessee being able to get a win with them and Neyland with the Neyland effect and everything. But I mean, all grand scheme of things, they're the most impressive team in the SEC so far. And I would say I would put them as the favorite right now to make it to Atlanta. I really would.
I wouldn't disagree. I won't disagree. Fool's gold with Vanderbilt, or do you think they're going to be in this for the long haul this season? I haven't looked at their schedule, but listen, that team's building. You're talking about moxie quarterback, the cachet. He brings that.
Yeah. And
you know what? Joey Aguilar's kind of got a little of that in him. He doesn't want to run the football as much as Pava, but it's very similar. Because you're right. Last year we offensively, outside of Dylan Sampson, teams knew that. Put 8, 9 up in the box. I don't think this quarterback can process stuff.
Yeah.
And when he does and has an open guy, he's throwing it. I mean, we thought we got rid of that when Joe left.
It's funny too, because I had my old man text me yesterday, and he was like, the first quarter, he's like, offense looks amazing, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of funny when you have a competent quarterback on how good this offense is. It's the offense was never the issue. Heupel wasn't the issue. He was able to draw up plays, he was able to get guys open. It's literally just having a quarterback that can be able to execute, and we haven't had that. We finally do. But yeah, going back to Vanderbilt, Clark Lee is one hell of a coach. I mean, he has done a phenomenal job over there, and they've, despite the fact of being able to have their recruiting disadvantages and all that stuff, he's built up a really, really solid football team over there. I was a little bit hesitant before yesterday's game on thinking that they were worth anything because they beat Charleston Southern, and they beat Virginia Tech, who, man, Frank Beamer would be ashamed of how that program's turned out now because
Old Dominion was a 10-point dog. I totally forgot about that game early in the week. I'd circled it and I said, Old Dominion might give them a game, might hang in there, and they rolled them.
Yeah,
I mean, Enter Sandman, get you some.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I was a little bit hesitant on trying to drinking the Vandy Kool-Aid. Yeah. But man, after last night's performance, absolute beatdown. It wasn't even close. They just dominated the entire game. And I look at their schedule. They got Georgia State coming up, this weekend, and they got Utah State. There is a high, I would say a 99% possibility that they're going to be undefeated, 5-0, as they go to Tuscaloosa and face Alabama.
I think you're right.
And honestly, I would not count them out even in that game as well. I know Alabama has looked, has bounced back and they look solid. But you know what? Like Wisconsin, absolute garbage.
Yeah.
Terrible team. I mean, Luke Fickell is literally about to be fired any moment now over there. And Louisiana Monroe, just say what it is, like, a very low tier football team altogether.
Yeah.
And so I could see Vanderbilt giving Alabama another game. And then I look at their schedule after that. It's like, you got LSU at home, which I never thought I'd say this in a million years, but like that could potentially be a game. I mean, based on what we've seen from LSU so far, they've been like outside of that Clemson game where Clemson was obviously fraud alert, like very, very shaky.
Yeah.
Missouri, Texas on the road, which they'll probably lose that one, but then Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and then they end the season with us. Is it crazy to think, and just hear me out, Cloney, is it crazy to think that Vanderbilt could be a 10-win team this year?
Listen, it's not as far-fetched as 2 weeks ago we had this conversation. And the other one, too, who's probably going to start 5-0 is Missouri. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost quarterback, running back, dual threat running back at that, guy that was very, very much used in the passing game. And I don't, Luther Burden III. I mean, you're talking about all this. I mean, I'm not judging it by yesterday's performance because they played a nobody, but they handled business last week in a game that was basically a pick 'em. And look, that if you would have had those two starting out 5-0 on your bingo card or on a futures ticket, imagine what that would be paying right now. You'd be getting a pretty hefty cash out right now, because I think the again, I haven't looked at their total schedule, but I don't think Missouri plays. Everything I looked at when I saw their upcoming schedule, I don't have it in front of me right now, but they'll be favored and be 5-0. Or it might have been 6-0. They play somebody really tough in their sixth game. I don't have it in front of me. Maybe you do.
They got South Carolina at home next weekend. Which,
without their quarterback. Yeah, that's very likely.
So they'll probably win that game.
Yep.
UMass win.
Yeah.
Then they got Alabama at home. At home, and a noon kickoff. Surprisingly, Auburn on the road, Vandy on the road, and then A&M at home. Mississippi State at home, Oklahoma on the road.
It's about to get real for them, but they could very easily. I wouldn't say they won't beat Alabama.
Bama's got to show more to me, and obviously there's a small sample size, but the only competent team they've played this year is Florida State, and that game was over from kickoff.
And back to Wisconsin, they played better offensively yesterday. Wisconsin actually moved the ball on them yesterday, and they turned it over. They had tons of penalties. I was going, wow, I mean, the score's kind of misleading. But Wisconsin's not very good offensively. You're right. And Fickell's probably, already one foot out the door, and, they've already got, buyout, and, who are they going to bring in there? I mean, that would be, not that Wisconsin's a powerhouse, but they're still a respectable program. Alvarez built a very respectable program. Especially a team at home that can always just run the football, play defense. They're probably the most boring product in all of college football. But
I don't know if they're as boring as Iowa.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. Yeah. One of, I said. Let me preface that. But Iowa. Jeez, I saw people yesterday like going, Iowa's my big lock of the year, 5-star. And I'm going like minus whatever they were, 38. And I went, will they even score 38? I don't even know what again, they're a no play for me. But I don't even know what it was. But, Iowa State, different story. But how about you talk about a tough spot for Golich and South Florida, 3 straight weeks. I mean, they're doing the whole state of Florida tour. We've taken down 2 of the sister programs, and now they play the big boy down in Miami. The U, they appear to be back.
They're good. I mean, Mario Cristobal has always been a very, very good, football coach. And
Right.
it just felt like it was inevitable, but it finally seems like that Miami has a defense, which they didn't have at all last year.
No.
And which is crazy. Because Cam Ward was phenomenal for them,
Yep.
But yeah, I hate Miami, but
I do too.
they
but
look good.
I
They look
tell you, man, they throwing up the turnover chain and bringing back the gold teeth and getting
maybe it was fool's gold thinking
Yeah.
South Florida was, a decent team because, obviously Boise State doesn't
I
look
still
like
think they are. I think that was
they're
a bad
solid.
spot yesterday.
Yeah.
I think they're a solid team. I think there was a really bad spot.
Yeah.
Again, when that line opened at like 18.5, that told me all I needed to know right there was like tough spot. Now you're asking them to go, not far to travel from Tampa to Miami,
Mhm.
but still, it was just the whole idea that, man, you've played two really good opponents and they've won them and they've handled them and they win in Gainesville, and now you got to go down there and as you and I both can tell, just the eye test looking at the difference in play in Gainesville versus Miami. Those two programs there's quite a bit of separation right now, it appears.
Yeah.
And Billy Ball is just not, it's not, there's no way he's back next year. I would not think.
I think he's got like a $50 million buyout, somewhere around there.
And they can't afford not to pay that with what, think about those games. If Tennessee fans go into that stadium and it's like 65% the real color of orange
Mhm.
versus Florida fans and that awful orange, I'm telling you right now, that what happened when Fulmer and you had some of your biggest rivals coming in and taking over your stadium, you know what? It does not sit well. And
his buyout's $22 million. They're absolutely paying that.
yeah, they're absolutely, yeah. Like I said, I would say even if it was 42 you have to get things in order, but you also, the difference in 22 and 42 million or 50, whatever, in not only getting the buyout money, which you can get, they have, but then also saying, okay, we got to get it right this time, this next one. We're up against it, top of the hour, halftime of Neutral Zone. That's Fan Run Drew. You got the clone here. We're presented by Fleet Tire. Come on back in the second half. We're going to break it down. Still talking some college, but we've also got some NFL picks. I've got some I really like today. I'm going to simplify it a little bit today. I'm not going to throw out a 10-legger or anything like that. That's crazy. But, Drew, I know we've got some picks that we like. Can the Detroit Lions bounce back? Their old offensive coordinator takes his Bears into Detroit, Rock City, Motown. We're going to find out a lot about Detroit and Chicago today. But there's a lot of big games. Colts hosting my Broncos. I think that's a scary game for Denver. I told resident Colts fan Bob Baskerville here from the drive, I told him I wouldn't be stunned if his Colts knocked my boys off. But we'll see. Again, second hour coming up, more Neutral Zone. Come on back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mike Costa at Knoxville Smiles. Here at Knoxville Smiles, we're all about making it easier for you to see the dentist. That's why we're now open until 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If going to the dentist in the morning or during normal business hours doesn't fit your busy schedule, come see us a little later. Call 865-539-1776 to schedule your appointment, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Hi, I'm Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or just need a change, it's never been more important to have experienced, trustworthy representation in the real estate process. So if you have any real estate questions, I'd love the opportunity to earn your trust. Call me anytime for a free chat, 865-742-1035, or find me online at BoKnowsHouses.com. The Kregner Group, real estate the right way.
Hey, Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
We really need to get some branded stuff. Shirts, hats, promo items, something professional.
I mean, we could just find a website and order a bunch of it ourselves.
You could, but you're taking a big risk. You don't know the quality, the fit, the timeline. It's a roll of the dice.
Yeah, I guess, but isn't that how everyone does it now?
Not the ones who actually care about how their brand looks. Look, if we're putting our name on it, it needs to be done right. We need SM Athletics.
SM Athletics?
Yeah, they specialize in working with businesses like ours. Apparel, hats, promo gear, but real, customized stuff. They actually care if it turns out right.
Probably a lot better than getting stuck with 100 t-shirts with crooked logos.
Exactly. Plus, they'll walk you through everything. Sizing, colors, material, so it matches the image we're trying to build.
Makes sense. What's the name again?
SM Athletics. Trust me, if you want to look like a real company, not a flea market stand, this is the move. If you're serious about your brand, work with people who are serious about getting it right. SM Athletics.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
About to break it down here. NFL Hour.
That we are. Definitely welcome back into the Neutral Zone right here in Fan Run Radio Studios. Again, presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. Drew, my man, we're at week two. Week two NFL kicked off certainly on Thursday night. Green Bay Packers defense is.
I'm going to go ahead and
is a
say
juggernaut.
I'm going to go ahead and say they're a Super Bowl favorite for me. Like that defense is completely loaded, and man, Jordan Love is like can continue to impress me as well.
Yeah.
It's like he's not the type of guy where he's going to flash out and throw 300 plus yards like how Aaron Rodgers was like gunslinger, but man, he fits that offense really well. Really smart quarterback, and
yes.
There's not really a weak spot on that Packers team at all whatsoever.
Right. They've definitely played well right now. I mean, their wide receivers are playing well. Tucker Kraft he had a big game the other night. They wanted to get him more involved this year, and you can see why. He's really, really fascinating. How well he runs after the catch. He's kind of hard to bring down, but he gives them an element in the middle of the field that you want with a young quarterback, rather. So we'll see, but a lot of inactives too as we enter week two. I mean, some big names too. Brock Purdy is out. You're going to see a little bit of Mac Jones. See him back in the boy. So we'll see. But again, I think there's some big games. A battle of 1-1. Both teams trying to get to 2-0. Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals. That should be an interesting game. The game of the week, maybe the game of the last one of the top 3 or 4 games I've seen in the last 15 years. That Sunday night game last week between Baltimore, I mean,
unbelievable.
Yeah, and people are going to ride Lamar Jackson. That was not on Lamar Jackson. You couldn't predict a fumble by King Henry, but John Harbaugh, man. I mean, you went away from being aggressive there. It was just like, what are you doing?
Again, it's just like Heupel in the sense of like, you know, that Bills offense is absolutely electric. You know, Josh Allen, if you give him any chance of being able to drive 75, 80 yards down the field and put himself in a winning situation, they're going to absolutely do that. You know, they've done that time and time after again. And I don't know, man, it's just John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson they just don't have that clutch factor. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you're right. You're right.
And it's unfortunate. I love watching Lamar Jackson play. I think he's like one of the most electric players, you know, in all the NFL, and has been one of the most electric players of the last 20 years. But it's just, how many times have we seen this though with Baltimore?
Yeah.
You know, like it's just.
Yeah. Also, on your bingo card coming into the NFL season, would you have thought that you could possibly see an 0-2 start by the Chiefs? Might the Super Bowl hangover, the losing team in the Super Bowl? Look, I'm here for it. Inject that into my veins. I mean, yeah.
I think Eagles are 1.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
It's in Kansas City, right?
It is in Kansas City. I'm not going to bet against. I'm not going to bet the Eagles because I've seen Andy Reid, and when Mahomes is an underdog. You know, Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Still, you know, Rashee Rice in a 6-game suspension. So yeah,
this is the thing for me when it comes to the Chiefs, and I think they've put their foot off the pedal in the sense of, okay, Xavier Worthy is solid. Rashee Rice can be good, but I mean, if you really look at their wide receiver room outside of that, they don't really have anybody, and they haven't really gotten like that X factor guy since Tyreek Hill left. You know,
that's right.
And I think that's the one thing that's holding back. Like you can't expect to rely on on Grandpa Kelsey over there. I mean, he's like 38 years old.
Is
He
he sort of checked out too? I mean, look.
He's getting that bag. He's getting that bag from Taylor. I would
the
be bag,
smoking hot, female artists, all that money. I mean, okay. Yeah, we'll give Travis a little bit of got a great podcast that for all that being said, I can't stand seeing the Chiefs have success. He and his brother in the podcast, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool deal.
Yeah.
So I saw an interesting thing too on the Sunday night game. What was it? Was it Sunday night game? Yeah. Because the Monday night. No, it was Monday night. Was when the Bears and the Bears had literally. It was like JJ McCarthy. People were going. Are we going shopping in the free agent market for a quarterback? But again, I thought their wide receivers let him down a little bit, including Justin Jefferson. On a couple of throws that he made that were very good throws. But with that being said, I heard this actually coming in on the Manning cast on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
The turnaround, it was like flipping a switch. The Vikings and J.J. McCarthy flipped the switch and went on a 21-0 run when Randy Moss appeared on the Manning cast. So I'm sure his agent is probably going to be like, all right, look, ESPN, Peyton, the crew here, Eli, we got to book him again here real soon.
Yeah.
So, but I always love Randy Moss, his analysis too. Player, hell of a player, but I think he's fantastic as an analyst, just breaking it down too. But anyways, so that's a huge matchup too. That you mentioned with the Chiefs hosting Green Bay. Will there be a A.J. Brown sighting? You can get him for Philly. I mean, you can get him right now at plus 210 on FanDuel, anytime touchdown. So
I don't know. He royally screwed me over last week in fantasy, so I laid an absolute dud.
Oh, I don't know.
He's got to show up. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't know what last week was all about. I don't know if they came out and said like whether he just wasn't into it, whether he was hurt. Like, I haven't heard anything regarding to him. So
They had to literally 2 rushing touchdowns by Jalen Hurts in the first half, and they're sort of controlling the clock a little bit. So I just think game script, it kind of I don't know, maybe that was that had a little bit to do with it. But I have seen a lot of people that like him for a big bounce back week. So we'll see. Again, we talked about a matchup of former coaches going back to their previous team. Ben Johnson takes his Bears into Motown, so that ought to be interesting. Will again, new offensive coordinator there and they really struggled. Detroit struggled in a big way to run the ball. Well, you think about their offense. They get the run going, and they set up maybe one of the better play action quarterbacks in Jared Goff. He thrives with play action, and I feel like they never got going. And I mean, you're telling me like 27? I think he had like 10 catches. I mean, if you're a Jahmyr Gibbs fantasy owner, he still got you a bunch of points via the receptions in a PPR league.
Yeah,
he had 10 receptions for like 23 yards, though. I mean, he was getting nothing. There was no running game. There was no Jameson Williams. There was no Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah. No, I unfortunately have Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams on my fantasy team on top of having A.J. Brown. So you can imagine for me and just how infuriating just watching all of that break down. I expect him to have a bounce back. I would really like a Jahmyr Gibbs anytime TD today as well.
I think you will. I think you'll see that.
I'm a little bit intrigued though about that spread though. They're 6.5 against Chicago, and the Bears are the Bears.
Yeah,
like they're not very good. I have no faith in Caleb Williams, but again, 6.5, like in the NFL especially, is like a massive line, and so I'm a little bit iffy about that. I'm also a little bit iffy about Dallas being 5.5 point favorites against New York, against the Giants.
Yeah.
Curious your thoughts on that one.
Well, so here's what I think is going to happen in that game. 2 high safeties, which the Giants love to play. CeeDee Lamb has absolutely eaten against them, like his last 4 matchups. I think you'll see a lot of that. I feel like he should get some really solid opportunities. I think Dallas wins. I'm not touching the line. Maybe that's a nice little parlay piece. Moneyline Dallas, moneyline Baltimore, them being like a 10.5 point favorite. Maybe you can get that close to plus money. Again, that's where I'm leaning towards this week. You'll play some safer plays. I tell you one that I did look at, and I would say jump on it before. I don't know if it'll go to 10.5, but I like Chicago first half team total over 9.5. It's sitting at I think it's minus 130 right now on FanDuel, maybe 125. I'll look at it again, but that is one that I kind of like right there. I feel like I wouldn't be shocked if Rome Odunze scores a touchdown this week. He had a couple, again, just some situational plays last week. Had a really nice opportunity one-on-one with a linebacker, and but again, I think all in all, I tell you who I do feel like, I know this is crazy, and I'm not telling you to put a lot of money on it, but I would be stunned. You know who's owned New England?
Who?
Tua.
Really?
The stats are crazy. I'm gonna see if I can pull them up. But they're a small favorite today. I mean, you're looking at it going, okay, young quarterback, young offensive team, trying to rebuild some culture there in New England. Honestly, my play there today may be a lot of points over the total. But I do like the Bears team total over 9.5 first half. I think you can get to 10 there. I think you could be looking at like a 14-10, 13-10 Detroit lead at halftime, perhaps. I think there's some. I feel like there's some pretty solid. There's some pretty solid data to go behind. Some money line plays. That Ravens money line, again, I think you could parlay Ravens money line, Derrick Henry anytime touchdown, and come out of that with slightly plus odds. I believe I looked at that earlier. The other one that I really like, Bills. They are dominant in week 2 the last 6 years. They're 6-0 ATS. I saw that stat. They play the Jets. Now, I think the Jets and I think Fields, Garrett Wilson, there's a lot of little pieces that I like. Garrett Wilson, 4+ receptions is like minus 240 or whatever. I like those. I like Justin Fields. Maybe you take his rushing yards. Buffalo could not stop anything running the football last week. That was Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Whether it was, a couple of runs even in the when they built that lead by their backup running backs. Someone not named Derrick Henry. So I do like Buffalo as well. I am going to pull that up, though. Go ahead. You started to say something, but I do have some numbers to back that up.
That Buffalo game is a little bit intriguing, too. That was a good little snippet about them not being able to stop the run. It's also the total is at 47.5 for that one against the Jets. Buffalo, New York. So, yeah, it's enticing. I don't think the Jets are going to win this game. I also wouldn't touch the spread at 6.5 with a 10-foot pole either.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Money line piece, put it with something in a parlay, maybe a 2-team parlay.
Maybe add James Cook anytime TD.
Yep, I could see that. Here's another stat. According to this is pretty good stuff. Jared Goff and Dan Campbell after a loss, 10-0 straight up and ATS. Lions minus 6.5 versus the Bears. Again, I don't want to play that line because I don't know if there's really some problems there with new offense coordinator. What's going on there. I know it's just one game, but if anything I'm playing there, I think it's probably Jahmyr Gibbs to have a bounce back. Amon-Ra St. Brown, a bounce back, or maybe just the Lions money line. Here's another one. Lamar Jackson, undefeated as a double-digit favorite. 4-0 straight up, 11-3 ATS. So I'm not touching them. 12.5 versus the Browns. Wow. I've seen crazier things. I've seen Harbaugh take the foot off the gas. I would be interested to see. Now the Browns have a kind of a surprisingly good defense. Their corners play physical. Here it is. Tua versus New England, including playoffs, 7-0 straight up in his career. Average win margin, 10.4 points. So Dolphins are sitting there, money line, minus 125. I may play you know what? The Dolphins are not very good, but I could see this being a bounce back for them. Josh Allen versus the AFC East, including playoffs, 30-12 straight up, winning games by an average of almost 9 points. Again, they're minus 275 by the Jets. Versus the Jets. I'm not playing that straight. I'm not playing that as a single piece. I may put that with, something else. Here's the stat I was telling you. Buffalo Bills on week 2, the last 6 years, 6-0 straight up. Jaguars, here's you one. Maybe that's the piece. You get it at a good price. Take Cincinnati. Money line. Jaguars in games listed with point totals of 49 plus. They're 0-22 straight up since 2013. That's incredible. You want to get really crazy? Like, here's some crazy data right here. This is Stat Geek. Like, literally, John Hussey is officiating the Titans-Rams game. home underdogs, ATS, since 2017 that he's a part of, 24-6, 80% clip.
Wow.
1-0 already this year. Titans are plus 5.5 versus the Rams. I have a feeling that game will be decided by, I've been saying it all week. My son's a big Titans fan. I feel like you're going to see Calvin Ridley, welcome back. You got off of the island known as, Patrick Surtain III. You get the Titans. The Titans really didn't play that bad. Now, Bo Nix, I thought didn't play very good. Or as Butch would say, complimentary football. I didn't think he played very well.
Complimentary football. God, I totally forgot he said that. I thought the Titans were all right. I thought the defense played very well.
Yes.
They were able to get pressure on Bo Nix.
Yep.
And, they gave the offense plenty of chances. It's just, Dan Moore is a complete fraud. I thought it wasn't possible for somebody to be a worse right tackle than Petit Frere, but obviously I was wrong, and more power to Dan Moore's agent to be able to snag $80 million from us, because I have no idea what we're paying over there for him to – I mean, he's terrible. He was awful. It was a complete liability yesterday, and that's not to say that, obviously, Denver has an elite, front seven, and they had a great front seven, obviously, last year, too.
Yeah.
But, man, I mean, it was painful to watch. And then it's like when Cam was given time, Cam looked fun. It's just really wideouts didn't do their job. I mean, there were so many drop passes and so many penalties and, mental mistakes. And I think one of the stats I saw was that we had 131 yards in penalty yardage, and we had 135 yards of total offense.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did see something where there was a comment, or I saw it on Twitter. One of the writers, it said for the Titans, said that literally they had the penalties and the yardage offensively was right there neck and neck. I didn't see what the final was on that, but that was crazy.
It was bad from both sides. I was happy to see that we were more competitive and that we had a chance to win the game. But, man, I mean, it's just the holding calls were atrocious. And then Jeffrey Simmons with the dumbest, personal foul on that third down where you have it. Literally, that's a 3rd and 15. You sack them, you put your guys in a great situation and, just let the man go.
Yeah.
Just let him go. It's over.
Just let him go. I know.
That's
Crazy.
Titans football. That's just how it is. So, I don't touch any Titans game when it comes to gambling whatsoever, because you literally just have no idea what's going to happen with them, especially. But
well, maybe if Titans Bill, maybe he would if his phone's working, he could call in there and give us a breakdown and on where first of all, let me just say this too. I have already seen signs flags with Brian Callahan. I don't think he's going to make it.
No, he's awful.
I think he's very bad.
I think the fact that he did not know that, what was it? It was a play near the end of the first half, and I think with the tight end for the Titans, his name is, I think it's Gunnar Helm or somebody else.
Oh, okay.
And his elbow hit the ground, right?
Yep.
It was a catch. They ruled it incomplete. He had the audacity the next day after practice being like, I didn't know that having your elbow hit the ground was equivalent to 2 feet. I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this just basic stuff that you need to know as a head coach? I understand with some loopholes and some little things are whatever, but good Lord, man.
Yeah.
That could have been a game changer. That.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I haven't seen anything from him, and I still cannot believe to this day that we fired Mike Vrabel after him building the roster that he did with a limited hand, because John Robinson was downright terrible as a general manager, and we literally left him for dead. I mean, I'm not even trying to be exaggerating.
Yeah.
But you trade A.J. Brown, you trade all these guys, you replace them with the guy from Arkansas. He was so bad I can't even think of his name now.
Oh yeah,
God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so it's just, I mean, they put themselves in this situation, and I want to give Callahan the benefit of the doubt, but it just doesn't look good. I haven't seen major improvements. He talked about all offseason about how their one motto, their emphasis was to limit the personal fouls, limit the penalties, self-inflicting, fouls. They had like 13 penalties last Sunday, and it was like 131 yards. I mean, literally that cost us the game. Like we were in every situation.
You were in the game. I mean, I believe me, it's you got to be frustrated. Most did not expect them to go into Mile High and get a victory, but still, you don't want to see. You don't want to see that, and you don't want to see you beating yourself, and then you don't want to see stupid comments and like you're second guessing the hire of your coach, and he's in the second year. And oh, by the way, I think you've got your quarterback, and I think Ridley's going to be fine. I actually think the wide receiver rookie out of Stanford's going to be a really fine player. I think he's going to be really good. But when you're I just the direction there and the choice of the hire is still I don't know. I know several Titans fans that are already like, look, this isn't going to work.
I mean, like you said, I didn't expect to win last Sunday against Denver. I think that was an extremely tall task. The thing is, it's funny. It's like, in a way, I would have rather had us get our teeth kicked in and be like, man, we're just bad. And like, we're just 3 or 4 years away from ideally of like playing at that, that type of level again. It's just the idea of like, you were in the game the entire game, and, like it'd be one thing if Bo Nix, just torched us in the fourth quarter and, got away. But like, we did everything we possibly can. It's just we literally couldn't get our own way, whether if it was from the coaching mistakes or the play calling, especially, and obviously just not knowing the simple rules of football. But they got the Rams. I know Rams are 5.5-point favorites in that game. I don't know if I'm being
Rams money line. I think that's a solid play, but I wouldn't play the spread.
I wouldn't play the spread, but this does. I could see the Titans win this game in the sense that they're going to be able to put pressure on Matthew Stafford. Yeah. Stafford's dealing with back pains. I think the Rams' offensive line is very pedestrian. I think it's very bang average. And I mean, if the wide receiver play can step up a little bit and allow, and convert some third downs, I think the Titans have a very good chance of winning this game. And I think it's more likely they will win this game than as opposed, and I'm looking at their schedule now, but Colts next weekend in Nashville. I don't feel too confident about the Colts, honestly. Like, I think the Colts are sneaky good, and I think they'll probably wind up winning the division this year. Texans in Houston. We never win in Houston. It's just it's
a huge game for Houston this week. Monday Night Football game.
Yep.
Big, opponent.
We specialize.
And you've got Tampa coming in, who looks like the clear favorite to win the NFC South after them winning down in Atlanta. You've got probably the best quarterback situation in that division. Listen, that is a team, especially with Emeka Egbula and his emergence, and you're gonna have Chris Godwin coming back. That is a team that's going to have plenty of weapons offensively, and maybe their defense isn't Super Bowl ready, but that's going to be a big. We'll see. Does Tampa's defensive line have enough to get pressure? Because that is a very vulnerable. That's an understatement. Houston does not have even division winning caliber offensive line.
No.
They thought they made enough changes in the offseason. That is an abysmal offensive line. The running back room is pedestrian. I think Woody Marks has a chance to step in there and be an impact, because he can receive a lot. The passing game, I've suggested stashing him if you can, and you've got spots in your fantasy league, because I think he'll bring an element that Chubb will not. You never know when Mixon's coming back. Dameon Pierce is Dameon Pierce. There's really nothing there. You've seen it. If you're waiting on him to break out, it's not going to happen, and especially against this with this offensive line, rather.
I agree completely. In that game, I actually love Buccaneers money line plus 125. They're 2.5-point dogs in that game. I know it's a big game. It's on the road, but I don't know, man. I just have more faith when it comes to. I mean, I think the Bucks overall just have too many weapons on offense, especially wide receiver. I mean, Ibuka looked fantastic last Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you talk about, I think Godwin's going to be back. You know, you got Mike Evans as well. And Bucky Irving is a very, very, solid running back for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe the Texans could be able to find a way, like Stroud could be able, to do his thing and get that mojo that he had, in his rookie season, but he didn't really look that good. And if you're really heavily reliant on, a 30-plus-year-old Nick Chubb, to be able to lay the groundwork, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you there, man. I don't get it. Also, before we get a break, again, we touched on some plays. I think one way that Indianapolis can attack Denver's defense is, listen, I said it in dynasty leagues. Everyone wanted Loveland, and I heard a lot of hype, and I think he was a great player at Michigan. I think he'll be good in Ben Johnson's offense, but Tyler Warren will be the closest thing to Brock Bowers. I'm not saying he's a Brock Bowers, but I think he's going to be a target share monster, and I would be stunned if he gets, if he has some solid production today. Might even get you a touchdown. It's like plus 360. It's incredible value right there because, again, you're not going to challenge the corners as much. And I think Daniel Jones's ability when the play breaks down to run the ball, Denver has solid linebackers. And I love my boy Bonita. Those guys are solid front seven. But I do feel like Warren has a very good opportunity to exploit some things in the middle of the field there. So if I'm obviously fantasy, you're playing him. I think he's a must start now. I think all said and done, when we look at him towards the end of the year and we're going to fantasy drafts next year, it might be Bowers, McBride / Warren. That's where he's at. I think the upside with him is phenomenal. And but again, small line there, Denver, small favorite. I would not be shocked at all if Indianapolis pulled it off. How will Danny Dimes handle some of that pressure that they drum up? And likewise, how will Indianapolis saw some of that film, and Bo Nix did not look himself last week. He was not sharp. I felt like he missed some players that were open, and I was just going back and I was like, man, it looked like Taylor was right down the middle of the field. He missed him. Again, we touched on the Rams, Tennessee. Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown. He got one last week. It just seems like that guy just, he doesn't get a ton of production as far as yardage, but they find a way to get down there. Listen, they've got 2 all-pro caliber wide receivers in Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. That's asking a lot. If they get time, Stafford gets time, I feel like you'll see both of those guys get a ton of targets. And, I could see Tennessee buckling down defensively and stopping them down in the and there'll be an opportunity there for Kyron Williams. So I don't love anything with his yardage today. I feel like Tennessee with Jeffrey right there in the middle of the line, defensive line, they'll try to take that running game away to where they can put Stafford in 3rd and longs and go after him. So I do like that. Again, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, somebody's coming away possibly 2-0 out of that matchup right there. So, if Jacksonville starts out 2-0, look out. And then if Tampa Bay takes care of Houston, and then all of a sudden Jags, Duval, they're all of a sudden sitting there on top of the division. I think Cincinnati will win the game. We'll see. But anything else that stands out to you? Quite a few 1:00 games, actually. If I'm looking at that, Seattle Pitt, I think that's going to be a good game. I think Pitt. Is Aaron Rodgers back? I'm not ready to say that yet. Like, oh my God, the fountain of youth, he's found it. Whatever cave he went and adventure and did his mushrooms and all that, miracle wonder, flowers, whatever. But I think if you look at the data on him last week, his average throw air yards was like 7.8 yards or something. I mean, it was a lot of after the catch or, a busted play. I'm not ready to say it. And I think Seattle, actually, their defense is actually, now it is a potential. Are you big on, I want to stack the guy playing against his former team and DK Metcalf? I could see him anytime touchdown. Maybe Aaron goes to him. Maybe he catches a quick slant and breaks a tackle. He's going to want to show up.
I mean, he absolutely wants to.
But he's very feast and famine.
Well, that's the thing too.
Very much.
I don't like. For me, when I watched when the Steelers last Sunday, I think everybody has this like perception of like Aaron Rodgers being like a gunslinger, and kind of like what you alluded to. He didn't really do that at all last Sunday. Their offense was more focused on like what his abilities to do right now, which is intermediate throws, thrown across the middle, and that's why like I'm very, very hesitant to say like Aaron Rodgers is back, because this is like I wouldn't say like vintage Aaron Rodgers at all. It's more like this is an Aaron Rodgers that's managed to stay efficient with his limited ability, because he's 40 years old. I mean, he doesn't have the arm that he did 5-10 years ago, and he knows that too, so he has to play to his ability. And I think Pittsburgh is a far better fit for him than the Jets. I mean, the Jets are just, bless their hearts, they're just an absolute dumpster fire of an organization altogether. So, but I mean, you might be able to do DK Metcalf anytime TD. Maybe I'm looking a little crazy on this one. Maybe a Jacob Warren anytime TD.
Yeah.
I think I like that a little bit more personally. I don't really trust like their run game too much either. I mean, their run game was pretty awful yesterday. Kenneth Gainwell. Yeah. So I would say probably, or Jalen Warren. Sorry, not Jacob Warren. Jacob Warren's tight end for us a couple of years ago. But I don't know. I probably would avoid that game at all costs. I'm still way too iffy on the Seahawks as well. There's just way too many question marks as far as like QB play. I mean, there's not a lot, known altogether.
Right.
But yeah, I would probably just avoid that Steelers game altogether when it comes to gambling. So
yeah, me too. I don't have a whole lot of fantasy stock in that game as well. Not very many shares, let's just say. But let's get a break. A final break here, Neutral Zone, presented by Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. If you would like to get in with us, we'll take some calls on the other side. Let's load them up, 865-966-3435. Fan Run Drew and the Clone right here, Neutral Zone. Come on back for more right here on Fan Run Radio.
Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Yee-haw! I've been hooting and hollering ever since I started betting with the VIP Play app. VIP Play has more than 200 leagues, every bet type you can imagine, live betting and live hosts, all with 24/7 support from real live people when you need them. Start betting better with the VIP Play app today.
Don't be a better, be a better with VIP Play today.
Download VIP Play today or head to VIPPlayApp.com. Make sure you use the promo code FANRUN to take advantage of their welcome bonus and so they know that we sent you. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-8899-789. Must be 21 or older and located in Tennessee to bet.
Are you ready to show off that confident, radiant smile you've always dreamed of? Well, here at Knoxville Smiles, we're ready to turn your dream into a reality. At Knoxville Smiles, we're more than just a dental practice. We're your partners in achieving optimum oral health. From routine cleanings and checkups to advanced cosmetics and restorative procedures, we offer a wide range of services in an environment that makes every visit a positive and comfortable experience. At Knoxville Smiles, it's about more than just treatments. We're focused on creating a welcoming environment where you feel like family. Our state-of-the-art facilities are designed with your comfort in mind, and our friendly staff is always ready to address your questions and concerns. Don't wait any longer to achieve a beautiful smile you deserve. Schedule your appointment at Knoxville Smiles today and take that first step towards a healthier, happier you. Call us at 865-539-1776 to book your appointment today, or just visit our website at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Man, I don't know if you've seen on Twitter. Apparently, it was an absolute nightmare over there at the South Concourse at Neyland.
No, what happened?
Danny White tweeted out an apology to Vol Nation. He's like, I owe so many of you an apology. The experience getting into Neyland yesterday was not acceptable. The expanded South Concourse and Gate 9/Truly Plaza are intended to make it ingress much better, and they will, but our plan was obviously not effective. It wasn't for lack of effort. Our staff and campus partners have been working hard on this all off season. It has proven to be difficult to predict the traffic flow with new gates, given our tight footprint. That's not an excuse. We missed the mark. That's on me. I want you to know we're immediately looking at adjustments to our plan. Just as importantly, we'll communicate with y'all this week about your best path into the stadium, depending on your seat location. Thank you for those that made me aware of this situation on this platform. I did see it myself at Gate 20. It gutted me to see our loyal fans so frustrated. I'm very sorry. We'll fix it. And apparently, they spent all off season where, the South Concourse completely expanding and everything. But I guess the gate of getting in is still very, very limited. And apparently led to fights, people falling, like all sorts of stuff. So not good.
Wow.
We spent all that money. Nothing's changed at all, sounds like. So
wow. That's incredible. I didn't go, but I didn't hear that. And like I said, I saw quite a few Vol fans and Georgia fans after the game while I was out to eat. And I did not hear that.
Yeah, there was one person that even tweeted that the fact they got at the stadium at 2:30, an hour before kickoff, and they watched kickoff from the concourse. They still hadn't even made it to their seat yet. That's unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. No, I didn't know that. If anyone experienced that and they're listening and they want to call in and share that or rip Danny for it. No, I'm just kidding. 865-966-3435. But good for him to at least own it and say, hey, look, we're gonna get this squared away. We're gonna get fixed. Oh, by the way, can with the handout, can you donate a little more money this week? He's very good at that. I've never seen a place that loves green the way they do.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it's insane.
Not even before the.
I told you what they're doing with ushers.
No, what are they doing with ushers?
Okay, so I know two, and they said you can have it. They're not doing it. So they used to be able to park at, I want to say it's G10, one of the parking.
Right.
They're now making them bus all the way from the soccer complex.
What?
Yes. Okay. I understand, but maybe if you want to make a little money on the parking garage deal, and you could, do you know what they charge for that? It is insane. So they're looking at it, dollar signs, like show me the money. Like you're talking about some people that have done that over there, that have given their Saturdays and I know one person literally told me right before the season, I said, hey man, you gonna be over there doing? No, they can have it. I'll probably go to a few games, but I'm not giving my time anymore after that. And I was like, wow. But then you see what they're charging for that yearly pass for over there. That's what they're looking at. They're like, the hell with these people who have volunteered and given us their time. Well, I shouldn't say volunteered, but they're still giving up an entire. That's an all-day deal.
Yeah.
That is an entire day.
Absolutely.
To be over there, and that's what we're dealing with here. Look, Danny White's great. He can raise money and do his thing, and he's made all of our programs healthy. Soccer team #1 ranked. Volleyball is now. I mean, but he will. This is what this guy he's doing. He's a bean counter. He's in there to make the programs, hold people accountable, demand excellence. But buddy, the money is never good enough. It's the same thing. I came on this very show 2 years ago. I was driving down Paper Mill Drive, and I see the Holiday Inn right there was turned into a UT. Like UT Living.
Yeah.
It was for students.
Yep.
And then I was talking to a couple of people that I know this for a fact. They over-enrolled at UT by about 28-30%.
Yeah.
Now, I know that for a fact. Well, where the hell are you going to put all these kids? Dollar Danny wanted all that, and they get all that enrollment over there. We don't have all this. We don't have enough room for it. Oh, by the way, we got to go and, take a couple of hotels and rent them for an entire semester. Actually, that Holiday Inn was for a full year, 2 semesters.
Wow.
So again, that's not all on Danny. That's all the way up the top.
That's a university issue
Yes.
for sure. But I will say this about Danny White, and I have great respect for him. What he's been able to do with every single program, he's completely elevated, has took it to the next level. And I mean, as a whole, as far as performance goes on the field, off the field too, this is the best that Tennessee athletics has been in a very long time, if not ever. I mean, you could argue ever,
Right.
There's not a single bad sports team at all across the board. Problem I have, though, is that he's pricing out, man. He's pricing out like the average fan, and the system that they have in place right now, especially for season tickets, I don't think it's efficient at all. And what I mean by that is that I know people personally that have season tickets. I've had season tickets for a number of years, but a lot of these people will buy the season tickets, not go to a single game, and then they'll just charge, oh, Georgia's playing? All right, I'll give you a pair of tickets, $1,200. And there's no fan that can afford that. 99% of fans cannot afford to drop over $1,000 on a regular season SEC game. You know what I mean? And and I'm just going to say this: he better hope. I mean, we all hope as fans, of course, but he better hope that keep on winning and the trajectory of the football program continues to increase and get better. Because man, as soon as there is a 6-6 or 5-7 season, it's going to be bad. When I say bad, it's going to be.
And hopefully we don't get there, but
I don't think we will. But man, if it happens, it would not surprise me in the slightest that we're back all over again of only 80,000 people being at Neyland and being a complete desert of an atmosphere. Complete dead atmosphere altogether. And so, it's just frustrating. I feel for those that literally that had to deal with that yesterday. I am sure that had to be absolutely aggravating. And I understand that he wants to continue, to, polish up the facilities and stadium and things like that. But man, increasing people's ticket prices, and especially people that have been season ticket holders for 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you probably saw the story, what was it, a month ago, of that basketball season ticket holder that's had season tickets for basketball for 60 years. And Danny White increases, doubled the season ticket price, where it was going to be over $4,000. And he had to give them up.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy.
No, it totally. It's just, it is, man. We're in a world now where it's constant. It's greed. I'm all for, people make money, but this is a fan base that is so loyal and continues to show up and travels. I mean, we travel when we're talking about playing in a, a not so powerful bowl matchup or a bowl game. If we go to Music City, we're going to take over Nashville. I mean, but yet it's never good enough.
No.
Again, when I found that out, and literally a good friend of mine that does the ushering and all that, I was just like, wow. Like, okay, offer them the opportunity to still park there and give them a discounted rate if that's the case, and they don't want to have to ride all the way from the soccer complex. I don't know. I understand you. Yeah. Okay. So you can get several $1,000s for that yearly pass for all, whatever, 7 games, whatever, versus just letting someone, but at some point, you just don't throw that in the people that have been there for you, and, loyalty means nothing anymore. It's just sad.
I just think that's exactly right. I think I think the leadership over there, especially in the athletic department, and it's probably not just Danny. All right, mind you.
No, it's not.
It's everybody collectively as a whole. But I think they have forgotten about obviously those that have been the most loyal. But the thing is, it's man, how many ushers are there at Neyland? I mean, let's be real. There's probably less than 100.
Man, I wouldn't even know. I'll find out. What typical for a football game.
It can't be that much.
Way less for
basketball.
Thompson Bowling. Yeah.
But I mean, for Neyland, it's probably less than 100, right?
Yeah.
And you're really going to tell me that's going to be the difference maker between us being either a 9 or 10 win team or quote unquote competing for championships is those 100 parking spots that you're going to give?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
It's more, it just gives me okay, what can we possibly do to maximize whatever profits that we can to make the Excel sheet and make make the numbers look better. And it's just, it rubs people off the wrong way, man.
It does.
And he's got to be careful. He's got to be careful.
Yep. Anything, we got about 4 minutes. Anything else stand out to you? I gave out a couple plays there that I like. Do you see Derrick Henry going off on Cleveland? Again, pretty solid defense. But, then one of their corners comes out and says Derrick Henry's really not, that hard to tackle. Why? Why would you say that?
That just seems so unnecessary.
Yeah.
I love Derrick Henry anytime TD.
I have that on a play.
I think there's going to be. He'll have a couple situations in the red zone, the goal line, where they're not going to be able to stop him. I love doing just a small 2-pick same game parlay. Bills money line, James Cook anytime touchdown.
Solid.
I fully expect Jahmyr Gibbs to bounce back. I think he's going to be an anytime TD as well. And then I have a 5-pick parlay with Henry anytime touchdown, Kyron Williams anytime TD, Chase Brown anytime touchdown, James Cook, and Devin Achane, I think. Him anytime touchdown as well.
I like where you're going there. I've got fantasy stock in several of those guys. I do. I think CeeDee Lamb could have a really big yardage day. Again, we talked about too high safety look with the Giants. He has done really well there. I also feel like with the fact that George Pickens on the outside, I feel like they may, you may put a little more attention over there if he makes a couple of big plays. Dak looked pretty good last week. Aside from missing Ferguson right over the middle, he underthrew it and it got batted down. But he had a touchdown right there. And honestly, CeeDee Lamb dropped 2 or 3.
Oh yeah.
I mean they were right there in that game.
Yeah.
And I would agree with you as well. I think looking at Jahmyr Gibbs and I think he should bounce back. And again, we shall see. It'll be an interesting week 2. We appreciate again Fan Run Radio. We also appreciate sponsor of the show, Fleet Tire, 111 East Woodland Avenue. Now you got UAB next week. Have we got a time on that yet, Drew?
Yeah, it's 12:45 kickoff, so it's going to be blazing hot. I would imagine. I fully expect a bounce back. I think that is a game we should absolutely, put to bed early. I expect Tennessee's probably going to be like close to a 30-point favorite if I had to guess.
I would say 30, 35, somewhere in there.
But the real, obviously we had a big game yesterday, but like the good chunk, the bulk of our schedule though starts not next weekend, but the weekend after, and got Mississippi State on the road. And that, I'm going to be honest with you, that game has me a little bit nervous.
It does me too.
Yeah. Jeff Levy has done a really, really impressive job over there, all things considered, especially, such a tough place to be able to win at and recruit. But man, Blake Shippen looked good. They got a really, really big win over Arizona State a couple weeks ago. And, I think the big question is like, are we going to be able to have Jermon McCoy back? And it sounds like, and I'm not going to say it's breaking news, but from what I've been hearing, it sounds like Ricky Gibson's going to be out for the year.
Yeah.
And so, which is extremely unfortunate. Definitely a guy that we could not afford to lose, that this early in the season, especially. But we need McCoy back. Davian Hobbs should be back against Mississippi State. Jackson Moy should absolutely be fine against UAB, and I'm not sure if they'll play him. They may take it safe. And then the big lingering issue is just on, when is David Sanders going to finally make his debut? But I'm going to be honest with you, right, Cloney?
Yeah.
Jesse Perry has played so well at right tackle. I don't know if you immediately start Sanders now.
I don't either. You're paying him all that money, and I understand he may his aspirations is he want to stay maybe 2 years. I don't know.
Maybe.
I think with the amount of money you're paying him, obviously they're going to find a way to get him in there somewhere. But you're right. As a whole offensive line, again, clean pocket yesterday for the most part against Georgia. I'll take that. That's why I'm trying to stay optimistic about the season. Let's get it right, though, man. Let's keep the aggressive, that foot on the gas. Coach Heupel.
Damn it, Bobby. I'm not out here selling propane for you to just throw it away like this.
All right, let's again, big shout out, Fan Run Drew. You had the clone right here, Neutral Zone, Fleet Tire making it possible. We'll catch you guys next week. Go Vols and have a great week, guys.